It's great to be here. I have several hard acts to follow, so I'm a little nervous between the Illuminati and my wife's speech. Uh, I don't know why Pradeep selected wine as his simile since he barely drinks, but I guess that's the way it is. I think you all heard about our friendship with them. A couple of other things I want to add. One is that for many years, our offices were neighbors in Koramangala. We have a stone's throw from his office in Koramangala. And Kalpana and I worked very closely together. She was the pillar of BATF, which did a lot of things in Bangalore many years back. So thank you, Kalpana, for all that effort and work. Also, Pradeep has this very interesting habit of learning a new skill or hobby every year. And I don't know where he finds them, but every year it's photography or horse riding or whatever. And I think that's something we all need to also learn from him. So thank you again for having me here. I think this is a special occasion, 35 years of Microland. It shows that Microland is a marathon runner. It's a company that is built to last. And 35 years is a long time. In 1989, when Microland was set up, was the same year that the Berlin Wall fell. It was the year in which the World Wide Web was invented at CERN. When Microland was 2 years old, India had its economic reforms and liberalization. The Soviet Union disintegrated. When Microland was 6 years old, the browser Netscape was launched. When Microland was 11 years old, the dot-com boom happened. So you can see that a lot has happened in the life of Microland. Also, firms like Microland and Infosys predate India's economic reforms. We grew up at a time when it was very difficult to do business in India, where there was no access to capital. There were no angel investors, VCs, growth funds, mezzanine funds, private equity. None of these things existed. And we had to build companies by our own hard work, by generating our own profits, by borrowing from friends and family, and building companies. So that's the background from which Microland has emerged. Today, entrepreneurs have access to a huge amount of capital, can make losses for a long time. Of course, that's changed now with the last couple of years. But I think what we have all learned from our 30, 40 years in business is really about how to do things frugally, how to do things so that it's profitable, how to grow companies, how to build teams, how to provide leadership, how to create companies of a different class. And I think what stands out about Microland is that it's one of the first entrepreneurial companies in India. Because way back then, 35, 40 years back, Indian corporate sector was dominated by large multinationals. You had Hindustan Lever and so on, or large Indian business houses, Tata, Birla, and so on, or government-owned companies, HAL, HMT, BEL. The notion of first-generation entrepreneurs was not known at that time. And that was, therefore, a pioneering achievement for people who had no background in entrepreneurship, who had no capital, were able to create companies. Today, of course, that has changed. In 2016, India had 1,000 startups. Today, India has 100,000 startups. So now it's, every second person wants to do a startup. But those days, it was a very difficult thing to do. And I think the credit of Pradeep and his team that they managed to grow and build this company in 35 years across all kinds of challenges, adversity, and still managed to grow and be successful. So congratulations, Pradeep. Today we are seeing a change, a new phenomenon of the whole issue of AI. Everybody talks about AI. Everybody wants to do AI. And what does this AI stuff mean for us as companies, as individuals? Clearly, AI presents both a great threat and a great opportunity. Why is it a threat? It's a threat because it can lead to massive automation. So many of the things that require people will no longer be required because it will be done by AI agents and co-pilots and all these things. So clearly there's going to be massive automation and elimination of work. At the same time, AI represents an opportunity because the world is being reset. And what we know is that when the world is being reset, that's the time when companies can break out and do things they could never do before. And we are at that time in the world because of AI. And the good news about AI is there are no gatekeepers. There is no one who will tell us which AI to use and how to use it. Now, this is actually unusual in the technology world. If you remember, when we had the PC world, we had a few companies dominating the PC world. When we went to smartphones, most of the smartphones were from two companies again. When we went to the cloud, again, we dealt with three cloud companies. So when you have only a few companies who are representing the wave, then they end up becoming dominant, and we have to work within their world. But the good news about AI is nobody's in charge. Absolutely nobody's in charge. There are many, many companies building AI. Every day, if you look at the leaderboard of generative AI, the leadership changes. One day it's OpenAI, next day it's Gemini from Google, then it's Llama from Meta, and so on and so forth. So we are in a world of rapid change where there's going to be lots and lots of companies providing technology. And when, therefore, you have this choice of a large number of AI models, then you can actually decide which ones to use and how to use them. In my view, the business of AI and models are going to become commodities. The real challenge for us is how do we apply this technology to improve our customers' business and work? How do we make them more effective? How do we make them more efficient? How do we reduce their cost? How do we reduce the number of errors? How do we make sure they're more secure? That's what we have to think about. And that's where the action is. And I think that's where I believe Microland has a tremendous future, because as networks become more automated, more agentic, doing more things for more people, how we make them work and how do we have the tools, the technology, the applications, the infrastructure to make it work is going to be the most decisive thing. And I think that's really the opportunity that we have here. We have many, many things happening. We have the good news also in AI is it's not just about AI from a few companies. Increasingly, there will be many open source models of AI or open weights, which is the weights are the weights in the large language models. So you have many of them coming, and there'll be more coming. And the technology of AI will become easier and easier to do. So everybody will be able to build their own models. Microland can build their own models specific to infrastructure management. And therefore, the whole game will change. And I think that Microland, like everything else, will have to lead on this by being a leader in applying AI to every part of its business. I feel that while certainly there'll be a great deal of automation of all the work that firms like Microland and Infosys do, on the other side, it's also going to open up a huge amount of opportunity. The reason why the opportunity is huge is that every firm will have to fundamentally reinvent itself in the world of AI. How do they use this? And this is what is called as a general purpose technology. It's not just about doing one thing. It can be applied to every part of our business. And every part of our business can benefit with improved productivity, improved efficiency, improved automation, improved growth because of better consumer experience. Everything, therefore, has to be reinvented. And therefore, you're going to see a major push in the next 20 years where every company Every government, every social organization will have to reinvent and reimagine the way they do their work using the power of AI. And that means there's going to be plenty of things to do for all of us to apply this technology, this capability, this learning, this new superpower to making a difference to our clients. So I think while on the one hand, yes, it will automate and some of the things we do will not be done, on the other hand, it will create new things, many more new things for us to do. And that's where I think Microland has a big role to play in making it happen. I believe that the best of Microland is yet to come. I believe that you have shown your spurs, you have shown your resilience, you have shown in the world's biggest changes, social changes, political changes, technological changes, from an era of globalization to an era of geopolitics, you have been able to show that you've been able to grow and build a business because of your extreme customer focus and because of building a company with high values, integrity. I think that has really made a difference. And in our business, it's all about winning the trust of our customers. That's all it is. If you have customers who trust you, customers who treat you as partners, customers who believe in having a long-term relationship with you, everything else can be taken care of. And therefore, once you have these trusted relationships, now is the time to parlay those trusted relationships into providing the advice and capability and technology for the next big transition in their world. And that's where I think they will all come to you. So I want to end by saying, go Microlanders, ignite yourself, and go for the next big one. And I wrote the foreword for the 25-year-old book. I have written the foreword for this one. Each time it gets heavier. I hope the next one is not going to be even heavier. But I think it's something I'm very proud to be associated with all of you. And all the best. Thank you very much.